Alright guys, it's Versus Z and I'm back with another model review, and this time I'm actually going to review my Armored Core Mirage C02-URANUS. I hate that name. Yeah, my Armored Core Mirage model number C02-URANUS AC. And as you can see, it's wonderfully sculpted. It's very sexy. Look at this. It's great, and I'm glad I'm actually going to review it with you guys finally. And for those of you who've been waiting, well, here you go. Let's do a little explanation here. Armored Core is a video game for the PlayStation and PlayStation 2. It goes all the way back to the early 90s, starting from PlayStation. It was one of the funnest games there were back then. A lot of people overlooked it. It was really underappreciated at the time. I mean, it was because it was a mech versus mech type of thing where you can do a lot of customizations. It was pretty fun, and for those who actually got into it, had a great time. And I was one of those people. So I'm an OG Armored Core fanatic. So yeah, it's still out there. There's one in Japan right now. I don't know if it's an expansion to Armored Core 4, which was poorly done. But the new one, Armored Core 4 Answer, which is available for PlayStation 3 and I believe Xbox 360 also, you can import it from a particular website, and since PlayStation 3 is region free, you can play it. And people have already done that, and they're pretty satisfied. So yeah, Armored Core is pretty big. An American release is being talked about. It's gonna be published, I guess, by a company called Ubisoft. I'm sure you guys know Ubisoft. Yeah, so this one in particular is from Armored Core 3, I believe. Yeah, Armored Core 3, which I haven't played yet. And yeah, he was one of those that showed up in the opening cutscenes. People normally or typically call them hero ACs just because they're in cutscenes. So this is one of those hero ACs that appeared. It was a 2-on-2 skirmish between this one and its partner in the video, which is another model called the Selena, also by Mirage. Going up against the Crest close combat type, and then there's another one. It's a skinny one. I'm thinking of getting that one just because it's unique. But oh god, I'm like already 3 minutes into this. Well, let's get through the video and we'll talk more later. Colors. Let's start with colors. It's not black. I'm not sure if you guys can manage the color, but it's like a very dark, and I'd like to say a wonderfully done metallic dark red. You can't really tell from the camera. From far away it looks like it's black or like something like that, but if you look up close you can see the dark red in it. It's very nicely done in a metallic finish. It's very wonderful. And this metallic finish is standard too. You can't unlike where it's Gundam where you gotta buy a special edition to get a metallic finish. It's a dark metallic red. There's a silver. There's a metallic blue on some parts, the missile pods also. And this one here is not exactly metallic red. It's more like a dark gray, I think. Metallic dark gray, something like that. The gun too is also metallic red, and that's about it. Not too many colors. There are clear parts on this thing. There's one there on the eye, and there's a clear blue. Hopefully you guys can make it out. Can you see it? The eye camera is a clear blue. It's optional. There's a clear, and then there's a clear blue. So I put the clear blue just because it just looks so sick with it. Let's see. There are no stickers on these model kits. There are no stickers, and they look awesome. There's actually a couple of the new ones actually. There's one called the 9-Ball, and he's pretty famous. It's a pretty famous one, I guess, around the Armored Core world, and it's got an emblem right there. You can see on the package it's got an emblem. You would think you need a painted sticker or whatever, but it's actually already, like, why is the color changing like that? Anyway, it's actually, like, already on there. I've seen it. I bought it from my friend Kenneth. He hasn't built it yet, and Net, if you hear this, build it. You're already in your new house. Build it. Or I'll just have to steal it from you and build it myself and review it. Yeah, and the 9-ball, God, if you guys know what I'm talking about, he's one I really want to pick up too. Sorry, this thing is just cool. It's just so cool. I can't get over it. Okay, articulation. Head. Very small head. It can only go that much and that much up and down. It isn't a ball joint. There's some slight wiggle. The head can rotate 360, surprisingly. Arms. Wait, before I continue, keep in mind this is not a Gundam model. Don't expect it, or neither is it a Gundam, period. So don't expect some, like, superhuman, well, not superhuman, but, like, human-like articulation. This is an actual robot. Keep in mind these things were only used for combat, and that's it. So don't expect any super human-like articulation. Take it for what it is. Arms. They can rotate 360. They're on a ball joint. And oh my god, the ball joints on this thing, there's so many of them. There's almost no peg joints. Well, some. Ball joint on the arms. You can rotate it 360. You wouldn't have to have trouble if it weren't for these missile pods in the back attached to them. But oh well. Waist. Let me be careful with this. Also keep in mind, articulation is great, but you gotta be careful with this thing because this is a model kit. It's not a toy, it's a model kit. Waist can rotate 360. God, I'm like 7 minutes into this. I guess this is gonna be another two-part video. Sorry guys. So waist can rotate 360. It's also on a ball joint, so there's a little bit of side-to-side wiggle. Sorry, wait. Well, okay, there's a little tiny bit of side-to-side wiggle. Legs are also on a ball joint, so, well, I really don't want to mess with it because I'm afraid I might break it. But okay, it's on a ball joint, so just keep that in mind. The side skirts, these long, sexy side skirts, are also on a tiny ball joint, but you also want to be careful with it. It can rotate almost 360. If the body wasn't there, you could rotate full 360. Wiggle here and there. Yeah, the coolness of a ball joint. The legs are, how do I say this? They're not on a ball joint or anything. They're kind of like just pegged in together really securely. It's only a single joint, so it can go about that far. And it can go a little bit forward. I don't know why you'd want to do that though. The feet are on 2 ball joints. One connected on top and one connected on the bottom. But you still want to be careful with it. There is wiggle. I'm really scared to do it. There's a good amount of wiggle, but just be careful with the ball joints because it's not very secure. Oh, sorry, hands are also on a ball joint, which kind of tends to flop out sometimes too. So, like I said, just be careful when you're just trying to move it around because parts are very sensitive. But this thing is secure in some points. Before I move on, I might as well slow down and stop now, but just to let you guys know, well, let me just say that for later. I'm gonna just tell you guys, keep in mind, again, another reminder, a strict reminder, I'm very strict on this. If you guys do decide on getting one of these things, make sure you have a lot of time and patience. I would call these no grades, but, well, whatever. Let's talk more in the next video.